カブスからドジャースへ移籍したカイル・タッカー選手が入団会見を行った様子を紹介します。タッカー選手はドジャースと4年総額2億4000万ドル、約381億円の契約を結んだと報じられており、後払い分を除いた単純計算では、平均年俸は年間6000万ドル、約95億円に達します。これは大谷翔平選手に次ぐ、メジャーリーグ史上2番目の規模となる超大型契約です。それでは、その会見を見ていきます。
Kyle, welcome to Los Angeles. Just when you think about making this decision, what made the city, this team so appealing, and can you just talk about how this all really came together for you?
I mean, it was interesting. I mean, obviously, I think very highly of this organization. I mean, from the top down, from ownership group to the front office. I think it's first class experience with all of that. I mean, playing here is exciting. You can see the fan base really embrace the team, embrace the city, and want to encourage the players to go out there and play at a high level. And I think the players kind of speak for themselves with the play out that they do out on the field, winning multiple World Series championships, especially the last 2 years. The players kind of speak for themselves in terms of that, and I don't know many players like super personally, but just more so playing against them and seeing them and talking to them on the field. But I mean, this is a great group of guys, and I'm excited to join them and have another run at a World Series.
Congrats, Kyle. It's Bobby Renai with The Athletic. What made you open to sort of the structure of this contract to be able to take the 4-year deal with some of the opt-outs? What made that appealing to you?
It's just kind of how things went. This is a area and that me and my wife and family kind of saw ourselves being a part of, and wanting to come out here and play and embrace the city and embrace the fan base as well. So everything kind of, we took everything into account with our decisions, and we thought this was a great place to play and a great place to live, and we're excited to come out here and get the ball rolling come the season.
Kind of to that point, like when you're getting interest from teams on different coasts and different markets with different kind of structures, like what were the things you were prioritizing or looking for as you were going through the process, and what kind of were the key factors at the end for you when you made the decision?
I mean, there's a lot of great ball clubs out there with great teams, and they all have unique things that make them great. But kind of like I said, I think this organization from the top down is first class, and the team that these guys put together and assembled to give a great product for the fan base and the city to go out there and compete for a championship kind of speaks for itself. So just kind of taking everything into account and wanting to be a part of that, I think is very special. You don't really get that very often. So it'll be a lot of fun playing with these guys and competing for another, hopefully a three-peat here.
Kyle, when you think about what you learned in Chicago, is there anything that sticks out over the last year that has you eager or excited to improve on with a new team, new season?
Yeah, I mean, last year I had a lot of fun with that group. I mean, there's some phenomenal people over there, and they do a really good job. But I'm excited to start this journey here in LA with me and my family and the group that I've mentioned. So, I mean, in baseball, same thing with everything in life. You can always get better at the little things, and I think that's what this team is really good at, the little things that kind of separates yourselves from other teams and other players, and can really make a difference throughout the course of a season, the course of a playoff. So I'm just trying to get it better in every aspect, whether it's base running, defense, offense. You're never going to be perfect, but if you can strive to get better at any aspect of the game, just to contribute to wins or runs or preventing runs, I'm gonna try and do that and do my part.
One follow-up, what about your specific skill set do you think best complements this lineup?
I mean, this lineup's pretty good, regardless. But yeah, I'm excited to be a part of the lineup and the group, and just try and pick the brains of the guys in the clubhouse and see what makes them better. And they might do stuff that I might not do, and vice versa. And we just kind of build each other up in that aspect. So, I mean, like I said, you're never going to be perfect at anything, but if you can get better with whether it's mindset wise or little tweaks with hitting or throwing or first jumps and stuff like that, I'm gonna try and do that. So we'll see how the season goes.
Kyle, a lot was said and written this offseason, kind of questioning your enthusiasm for baseball, your motor. when you hear or read stuff like that, like what do you think? And I guess is there any validity to any of those questions?
I mean, I don't read into it a whole lot. I mean, I know what I try and do out on the field and what I bring to the clubhouse, and I try and do my best out there, regardless of how I feel or what the situation is. I'm gonna try and go out there and win games, whether it's if you're struggling throughout the season, if you're able to move guys over, get hit a ground ball to second to get a guy in from third, or draw walks and make pitchers work, or make a play on defense. Like little things like that can add up to a lot of wins throughout the season. And some of the stuff might not show up on a scorecard, but guys in the clubhouse and front office kind of notice little things like that. So I just try and block out noise, anything like that. But I'm fired up to. I mean, I've been playing in the playoffs for a while now, so I mean, there's nothing that really beats that and the excitement that comes with that. So I'm excited to continue that here.
Why do you think people have that impression of you?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just maybe a little bit of my demeanor, but I know who I am, and everyone in the clubhouse knows how I go about my day. So that's all that really matters. Just trying to keep it close within the clubhouse and the guys that you kind of work with and grind on a daily basis with. So I'm excited to join that.
Kyle, going back, welcome to Los Angeles, first
Thank
of
you.
all. Going back to the fan base, and you said this fan base is very strong, and it's a very multicultural city, Los Angeles, especially given your Spanish heritage. How excited are you to connect with the Latino fan base here?
Yeah, my mom's excited about that one, but this fan base is exciting. I mean, you can, whether you're walking around the streets or driving around to different parts of LA. I mean, even when we go on the road, the fan base travels really well and supports this team. So I'm excited to kind of experience that and be a part of it. So I'm looking forward to opening day here, and obviously spring training starts a little before that, so you get a little bit of a taste of that. But I don't think there's anything like when the season starts. And I mean, obviously you guys are going to be bringing out the rings and everything, so that'll be cool to watch, and hopefully next year I'll be a part of that.
Well, was coming here to a team that has as many star players as they already do, kind of whatever shares the load a little bit of just the expectation and pressure. Was that part of the appeal here, was knowing just kind of the roster they already had and kind of how you can fit into it?
I mean, somewhat. I mean, this team obviously is very good, and I'm just excited to be a part of that group and just trying to build myself up on a personal level, but also contribute with everyone else. I mean, obviously, I think playing for a winning ball club, which this team is it just makes it a lot more fun. It makes it exciting, to go out there every single day. I mean, we play so many games that, it can kind of get to you a little bit, but I mean, working with this group of guys, I think it's going to make it a lot of fun throughout the whole year.
Kind of related to that, Dave, have you thought about how you might construct your batting order now that you have, someone else with a lot of pop, you can go near the top?
Yeah, so Kyle's in the hot box, right in the hopper right now. So I think for me, I was talking to Gomer and Andrew just recently, and it's just fun to kind of think about, where Kyle's going to hit in the lineup, and obviously he'll be in right field, and Teo's excited about playing left field. He'll be in the top third. I don't want you guys to hold me to it right now, but, second or third seems to make sense.
Kyle, there's a lot of stars on this team. Did you get a chance to reach out to any of them, and just what was their message about what it's like to be a star for this organization?
Yeah, I've had a few guys. I've talked with a few guys. I've saw Muncy and Shohei here today. Met some of the medical staff in front office, and actually put a name to a face, and being able to be in front of them is really cool. Had a few guys just kind of text me saying that how excited that I'm joining the team, and kind of vice versa. So we were just on FaceTime with Freddie, who's telling me not to do anything stupid. So I was like, you're good. I'm good with that. So I'm excited. This is a great group of guys, and I'm excited to get to know them a little bit better, and get to playing with them on the field.
You weren't 30 for your career. You're switching to 23. The way Dave's career is going, probably no more 30 again in this organization. What was the reason for going to 23?
Kind of the same thing with Doc. I'd give him a call just to give a shot in the dark. I kind of knew his reasoning behind having number 30, but I was like, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark here and see what happens. I wasn't necessarily expecting it, but kind of in the same sense with him, with me going to 23. Him looking up to more Wills and kind of being his mentor and everything coming up, and him wanting to wear that for him. Kind of the same thing with me with 23 with Michael Brantley. He was kind of the guy I'd hung out with a lot coming up in Houston with, and he was a phenomenal ball player and one of my close friends. So that played a big part into my choice going with that.
Dave, you would have given him your number?
No,
It's understandable. It's totally fine.
It wasn't. It was one of those things that it was a fun conversation that Tuck and I had, and it was just more of Maury and I have had such a great relationship, and one of the things that he was like, "Gosh, before I die, I hope, or when I die, I hope that no one else wears that number." And so it's really near and dear to me, and so we talked about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tuck's agent Jason Romano had that same relationship with me and Maury. So yeah.
Brandon, when did this signing really start to strike you as a possibility, a reality, and when did it sort of come together in the last few hours? Especially, obviously, you have Steve Cohen kind of tweeting about smoke and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Kyle being one of the few free agents that we felt like could, really impact our club. We stayed in contact throughout the offseason to make sure that we were expressing interest and, if there was something that made sense for both sides, we would have the ability to bring him on board. And, like all of these things, like the incredible support from our ownership group to, give back to the fans that are coming out and, in, the packs of 4 million last year. So I think we felt like let's continue to pour into them and to the team. And when we had the opportunity to do it, and this was a real chance to fill a hole that would really impact our team, we did it. So it was one of those things where we were kind of waiting around and being in contact, and then it came together pretty quickly over, probably 5 to 7 days.
Kyle, in previous years or in this offseason, what did you admire from afar about the Dodger organization?
I mean, like I said earlier, I think this team kind of speaks for itself with what they do out on the field. Obviously, playing here is a little challenging in the fact that you got to go against a really good lineup and pitching staff, and obviously Doc does a really good job at managing, situations that happen throughout the game, and then the fan base I think does a really good job backing the players and the team behind them. So, that's some of the stuff that I really admire about this organization, the team, and the city. So, a lot of that kind of played into why I wanted to come here and be a part of this.
Kyle, there was a report yesterday that some of the owners saw your contract and said basically, that's it, we got to go for salary cap now. This guy's contract is doing it. What do you think about having that much power in the sport of baseball?
I think baseball's in a good spot. I mean, we have phenomenal attendance around the world. I think attendance at the games continue to sell out games, and fans are being very supportive of their teams and their players and the organization. So I think it's a good thing having that and the interaction with everyone, and I think it's just going to grow the game from there. So I mean, as long as we can, as a league and as players, if we can just continue growing the fan base and having fun with it, and continuing to have that interaction between the organizations and the fan bases, I think it's good for baseball.
I got time for 2 more.
Once you heard what the Dodgers offer was it a pretty easy decision from there, or at the end were you still kind of debating between all the options you had closely?
I mean, obviously it's a big decision, so you still got to weigh out everything. But obviously, like I said, this team and the city and the fan base kind of makes it a little bit easier to make some decisions. So that was just ultimately what we want to do, is come here and be a part of that, and try and win another World Series here.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Kyle.
Okay, thanks, you guys. Yeah, sure. I'll go on the other side, Kyle. Get you in the middle.
コンオフのドジャースの主な補強はクローザーのエドウィン・ディアス投手のみとなっていましたが、今年のフリーエージェントのスター選手をさらに獲得しました。昨年カブスでは136試合に出場し、打率2割6分6厘、出塁率3割7分7厘、長打率4割6分4厘、22本塁打、73打点、25盗塁を記録。ただ、ふくらはぎの張りで9月の大半を欠場していました。タカー選手のドジャース入りについて米 ESPN は、ドジャースのロースターはすでに十分強いと考えており、スター選手を積極的に追いかけるのではなく、 市場の方から話が来るのを待つ。そう誓っていた。だが、結局スターは向こうからやってきた。フリーエージェント市場で、最も優れた選手、と広く見なされていたカイル・タッカーが木曜日、ドジャースに加わることで合意したと、関係者が ESPN に明かした。と、メッツやブルージェイズとの獲得競争となっていましたが、最終的にドジャースが勝利を収めました。ドジャースはこれまで、オプトアウト条項をほとんど認めてこなかったものの、タッカーには例外的にそれを容認。さらに後払いを組み込んだ契約構成や高額なサイニングボーナスなど、柔軟な条件を提示することで、他球団を上回る魅力的なオファーを実現しました。なお、タッカー選手が加入後のドジャースのラインアップは、このようになる予定で、打順は上位のどこに入るのか、ファンの間でも話題となっています。そして、タッカー選手が加入後のドジャースについて、タッカーの加入により、ドジャースが両翼の外野手テオスカー・フェルナンデスをトレードに出す可能性も出てくるが、球団の考えに詳しい関係者によれば、それは必ずしも規定路線ではないという。球団はヘルナンデスをライトからレフトに移すことも容易であり、アンディ・パヘスは引き続きセンターとして毎日起用され、足首の手術明けとなるユーティリティのトミー・エドマンは二塁手に固定される見込みだ。と予想しています。以上今回は、タッカー選手の入団会見の様子を中心にまとめました。ぜひタッカー選手加入後のドジャースの打順予想や動画の感想をコメント欄にてお聞かせください。以上今回も動画をご視聴いただきありがとうございました。別の動画でもお会いできるのを楽しみにしております。